Hello guys, welcome to the series Learn Docker in PHP environment. This is the first part, and during this part I'm going to cover the basic commands like docker run, ps, create, start. Also I'm going to explain the difference between an image and a container. So stay with me. Hello again. So our first command for today is docker run. Docker run. And Docker run is a combination between Docker create and Docker start. So it will create the container and then start it. After that, I'm going to add the name of the image I'm going to use. In my case, I'm going to use Hello World. Hello World is very basic image. People use it most of the time to check if the installation was done correctly. I will click now enter. And as you see, Docker tried at the beginning to check if the image was available on my local machine, and it didn't find it. And because of that, it print the following message: unable to find the image. Then it pulled the image from the repository. In our case, it's Docker Hub. And after that, it runs the default command. And because we are using hello world image, it's going to print a message, hello from Docker. So let's try now to run the command again. I will clear the page and I will run it. That's it. So as you see, this time it didn't print the message unable to find at the beginning. And this happened because I have the image already on my local system. So someone will came to me now and said, okay, but how can I know what is the available images inside of my local system? And to answer this question, you can use the following command: docker images, enter. And as you see, those are the available images inside of my local system. And as I expected, we have hello world in the last position. Now I'm going to try another image, and this image called busybox. Very simple image. And as usual, Docker engine will check if the image is available on my local system, didn't find it, and then it will download it from the Docker repository, Docker Hub. So the person who keep asking question will came to me now and said, okay, but this time nothing was printed. What is the difference between those two images? And to answer this question, let's check this diagram. So the main difference between those two images is that hello world came with default command. And when we are going to start the container, it will execute this default command. On the other hand, busybox doesn't have default command, and we should provide it with one. Therefore, let's try to check and see what is the available options. I'm going to start with a command called echo, and this command is going to print a message. So busybox echo. Let's say I want to print I love PHP. Enter. And as you see, I got a message. Another option would be ls. Repeat the process. ls. And as you see, I got all the available directory inside my current path. It's also possible to run pwd. This command will print the path starting from the root. And because I'm in the root, I got only slash. What I'm going to do now is trying to run those commands using hello world. So I will clear the page. And I will write docker run hello world. And then echo hi, for example. Enter. I got an error. Let's try with something else. Maybe ls. Again, the same error. So why this happened? And to understand why this happened, let's back to the diagram. So the main difference between those two images is the amount, the number of utilities command they contain. So for example, when I tried to run ls echo pwd inside of busybox, I didn't get an error. And this happened because the utility, the command are already included inside of busybox. In contrast, hello world is a very simple image, and inside of it there is only one application, one script, and this script will print a message. So as a result, running commands like ls, echo, and pwd will lead to an error, as we saw. So before I move on in the course, I just want to speak a little bit about the difference between an image and a container. And to bring a better understanding, I created the following visual aids. So imagine you are going to build your house. And to build your own house, you need at the beginning to create an architecture blueprint. And inside of this architecture blueprint, you include things like specification, detailed information about the structure, electrical layout, and so on. And when you finish this architecture blueprint, you go to the construction company, and this construction company will build your own house. In the same way, if you are going to create a container, you need to create your image. And inside of this image, you will specify, for example, which Linux distribute you are going to use. Debian, CentOS, Fedora, Alpine, whatever you want to use. You need also to specify which applications package you are going to install. For example, Git, Vim, editor, and so on. Also, you need to describe how's your container going to behave when you are going to run it. Which programs are going to run in the background? Is it going to print something? And after you completed your image, you will give it to the Docker engine. And Docker engine will build your container. In the same way, you have your blueprint, you give it to construction company will build your house. I know it's completely different subjects, but my main goal here is to let you understand the difference between those two definitions, between image and container. I know maybe you are advanced user, maybe you have enough experience, but for beginner, I believe it's a little bit tricky, and I hope it's now clear. I'm going now to use another commonly used command, and this command is docker ps. So docker ps will list all the current running containers inside of my machine. And because until now we have been running only containers that run very quickly and then immediately stopped, nothing was printed. For example, let's run docker busybox and then echo I heat JavaScript. Enter. And as you see, the container started, printed the message, and immediately stopped. So to solve the problem, let's try to run busybox with a command that will keep running in the background. For example, let's try ping docker run busybox and then ping google.com. People use ping to measure the latency, and as soon as I'm running this command in the background, the container busybox will not stop, and I can now try docker ps. So let's try it in another terminal and docker ps. And as you see, I can find my running container, and we have the following header. At the beginning, we have the container ID, and we are going to use the ID for a lot of tasks later. We have the name of the running image, busybox. We have the command, ping, google.com. We have the time when this container was created, and it's 27 minute ago. We have the status also, ports, and the name of the image. It will be generated randomly. So I'm going now to come back to the original terminal, and I will click Ctrl C to finish the process. Clear. And let's try again to run the command docker ps, and as you expected, I don't have any running container. So docker ps is specifically there to see the running container. It's also possible to modify the docker ps command so we can see all the container that have been ever created on this machine. And to apply that, I'm going to add -a at the end of it. I'm going to make the screen a little bit smaller. You can see all the tables. I'm going to scroll up to the top, or maybe to the beginning of them here. So those are the containers that I have created before and have shut it down either by me or naturally. You can see, for example, the status. This is the last container we have started, and it was executed 1 hour ago. You can see here's the name, the randomly generated name. It's the same like the normal PS, but here, as I said, you can see the old stuff. At the beginning of this part, I spoke about Docker Run, and I said it's a combination between Docker Create and Docker Start. So in this section, I'm going to dive deeper, discussing those two commands and their behaviors. So let's use our lovely image hello world, Docker Create hello world, and then we click enter. And as you see, I got an ID. In most of cases, you need only the first 2 or 3 characters, not more than that. But for now, I will copy the whole ID, and then I'm going to start it. Docker start, I will paste the ID, and at the end, I'm going to add -a. I'm adding it here only to see the output, to see the log, because by default, Docker start will run in detached mode. Please don't think too much about it, because I'm going to explain it in details in the next section. But for now, it's only to see the log. Now I will click enter, and as you expected, I'm going to get the same usual output. Hello from Docker. So to recap, Docker Run Hello World is a combination between Docker Create Hello World and Docker Start Hello World ID. So someone will came to me now and ask me why I need to make things complicated. Why I need to run 2 commands instead of 1. And to answer this question, let's see the available containers. I will clear the page using Ctrl L for the people who are asking. Now I will write Docker ps-a. We learned about this command in the previous section. Enter. Let me make the screen a little bit smaller. I will go to the top. And look how much containers I have that based on Hello World. 1, 2, 3, 4. All those containers serve the same purpose. Why I need them? So instead of creating container every time and duplicating it, I need to have only 1 container. So everything I need to do is just copying the ID and Docker start, pasting the ID -a, enter. You are good to go. I hope it's clear now. Don't duplicate yourself. And I really encourage you to use this approach. Someone will came to me now and said, okay, but it's hard actually to remember the IDs. Is there any alternative? And to answer this question, yes, you can assign names instead. So let's try it. I will start with Docker as usual, create. After that, I'm going to add a flag, dash dash name, and the name I'm going to use, in my case, my hello world. And after it, I will add the name of the image I'm going to use. Obviously, hello world, and enter. As usual, I got an ID, but I'm not going to use it. So I will write docker, and then start. But this time, I'm going to use the name instead. So I will write my hello world dash a and enter. Voila, I got the same result. Also, it's possible to use the flag with run. You need to follow the same step. Let's try it. Here's the page, and I will write docker run dash dash name my hello world 2, and then hello world, enter. And yes, it works as we expected. To be honest, this is my first video on YouTube, and if you are still watching until now, I believe you have learned something. I would really appreciate if you could maybe subscribe in my channel, give me a like, and I will see you in the next part. Peace.